Okay, we're back. Right, so yeah, I'm going to be taking out the Arado 234B-2 for a spin on the realistic battles. Now, again, this is another aircraft that has apparently been fixed. I've not really flown it enough to give my proper opinion as far as the flight model goes, but it has had some changes to it apparently. Because my aircraft is stock again, I might not actually be able to notice them. Now, why is this, you might ask? Well, the reason why I don't particularly like to fly this aircraft is because, like the Canberra and B-57, it has no guns. So you are really limited as to what you can do with it. There's no real way to take on enemy aircraft. When an enemy aircraft does actually come for you, your only real option is to run. There are two other kind of ways, I suppose, you can maybe take them on. One is to attack them when they're on their airfield landing, which in this aircraft, you want to try doing that? Okay, good luck with it. And the second one is to use time delayed fuses on your bombs. Now, you only carry 3 bombs in this aircraft, so doing that basically means that you need to be bombing your target at the same time and having the enemy literally 500 meters behind you. Now, maybe not 500 meters, maybe a kilometer behind you, and you have to also get them to be very low to get caught in the explosion. Now, I'm no genius, but that isn't an optimal way of taking on an enemy aircraft. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you know, it's what planes had guns on for. Now, as I've already mentioned about B-57, there's one, and the Canberra, they also don't have any weaponry on them, so they can only defend themselves by running away. See, now it's telling me I'm chat spamming even though it's a different enemy. That's not chat spamming, that's me reporting an enemy's position. They need to look at what people are actually doing in game. I've seen far worse as far as chat spamming goes than what I've just done there. Again, it's bad development. And you might hear that word quite a lot, especially if you're watching one of my videos. Anyway, let's just check this base out. Again, this is easy. There you go, all bombs gone. That, well, they will all hit, and that base will be gone. Now, my only real option now is to run for home, because I don't have any weaponry, so I don't want to be sticking around. I just got to get out of here, basically, and get back to base. I'm going to watch the bombs. There we go, just to see. Bang on target. Okay, so now, like I say, all I can do is run back to base. If I see any enemy players, chances are, if the jets, I am not going to be able to outrun them, because this is a World War II era jet, and what they're going to be in is probably post-war era jets. Or probably, actually, I'm unfair with that one. It's probably going to be stuff like P-80s and F-80s. P-80 I think was used literally right at the end of World War II, but at that point there wasn't really any competition. The F-80 I'm pretty sure was actually used in Korea, at least in some kind of variant. Maybe it's not the one in game, but the later variants possibly. Now, as I've already said, yeah, this is a World War II aircraft. Now, against something like a Korean War aircraft, they have quite a few advantages. First of which would be air brakes. Air brakes act as they are called. They are brakes. They slow your aircraft down. Now, I don't have that on this aircraft, so when I actually have to slow down, I have to cut the throttle and attempt to lose speed from making sharp turns. Well, turns basically, not necessarily sharp ones. Which takes more time, so it takes me longer to lose my speed in order to land and get back into the air. A B-57 can do it much quicker because it doesn't because it does have air brakes. So I'm going to start actually slowing down here. I'm actually quite far away. That's probably about 3 kilometers away from the end of the airfield, I'd say, roughly. Yeah, it's going to take me some time to get the aircraft slow enough that I feel comfortable landing it. B-57 would be losing speed so quickly at this particular moment in time, or Canberra for that matter, that they would be able to do this quite comfortably. I'm going to have to be a bit more careful, as I'm unsure as to how well this aircraft can turn at high speed. I'm not doing that high speed, but I've seen aircraft lose their wings at 330 miles an hour, so you know, I'm going to be a bit more careful with regards to trying to get this down. But yeah, the fact that this is in-game is novelty more than anything at the moment, because as I say, you can't actually take on enemy aircraft in the same respect as an actual fighter or some other variants of bombers. The IL-28 is a good example of that. And with regards to this aircraft, it shows another kind of bad development choice from Gaijin, in my opinion. The Arado, which basically uses a photo reconnaissance platform, that's what this aircraft is. It's a photo reconnaissance platform. It was using it as a bomber in a secondary role, really, as it wasn't, you know, a combat aircraft. And the earlier, well, the actual prototype did actually have weaponry on it. It had guns in the tail. There was a small remote controlled turret, as far as I'm aware, in the tail with, I think it might have been one, it might have been 2 20mm cannon. The idea being that those cannon, you know, it could use to shoot at enemy aircraft that were chasing it. Now, yeah, this isn't the prototype version, so it doesn't have the cannon, and therefore can't do that. It can't defend itself against enemy aircraft. So, in an MMO, this aircraft is more of a simulator aircraft rather than a, you know, arcade or realistic battle aircraft. It certainly can't actually pull its weight in comparison to other aircraft in certain situations. As I say, it can't defend itself. Its only real option is to run for the hills, basically. And this is apparently fixed now, as I've already said. Whether or not I can detect that is a different matter, because as I've already stated, I've not flown this that much. I've done about 4 games, I think, in it. I've had the aircraft for actually quite some time, but due to the lack of armament on it, and or utility rather, I don't particularly rate it, so I've not flown it. I don't like wasting my time, and I don't like to take out aircraft that are particularly wasteful for the team. Because you've got to remember that although we've got 2 Arados in here, so we've got possibly decent bomb load between us. Yeah, we can destroy a base with bomb load. Wow, that's really good. But that's not very effective against other units such as tanks. And on this map, there's quite a few tanks. Now, the 3 bombs, yeah, that's supposed to be 3 tanks dead, you might say, but it's not, because the bombs don't drop individually. When I press the mouse button, it will drop 2 out to ones first, I think, and then the second mouse click will drop the middle one. So, in effect, I can basically get 2 tanks because of the space in between them, unless they're really, really bunched up, which doesn't tend to happen until the later stages of the game, or round of the map, rather. Now, that, like I say, with regards to the lack of armament, basically means that we can't do anything against the enemy team, as in their aircraft. We can try and bomb them on the airfield, but catching them on the airfield is a different matter. It's not very easily done, especially in something like this, which is not particularly fast in comparison to some of the jets it will face. The lack of armament basically makes it so that we're almost automatically down 2 aircraft because we're using these aircraft, because we can't fight against them, and we won't be engaging them at all. I mean, any aircraft that come at us will be running. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no other option we've got if we don't run, then we just get shot down. And that's kind of the gameplay that you can expect with the Arado. But you also get this with the Canberra as well and the B-57. They are unarmed aircraft when it comes down to air-to-air combat, and suffer accordingly. The idea that they're in game, as I say, is more of a novelty in my opinion, as they really don't have that much use. B-57 and Canberra are much more capable bombers than this aircraft because of their bomb load. They carry almost twice the amount of bomb load, I think it is, just roughly off the top of my head, which is quite a substantial amount of difference. A Canberra, for example, with its bomb load, can take out 2 enemy bases in one bomb run. This aircraft, well, unupgraded rather, can't do that. Now, I know that it can get a bomb load increase, but it's just an increase, I believe, up to 3 1,000 kilogram bombs, and the 2 external ones will still drop together. So you can't destroy 2 bases with one bomb run, as far as I'm aware. But I can't actually try that anyway, so it's difficult for me to actually express that, or at least check it, without taking out something else, or a different type of aircraft, which might invalidate the test to begin with. So I'll leave that for the time being, and hopefully review that at a later date. So yeah, this is the Arado, and this is kind of the gameplay you can expect from it, because, as I say, your aim in this is to run away. You don't want to be sticking around, and you don't want to be giving yourself away to the enemy position as much as possible, because if they know where you are, they can arrange to intercept you and take you out. And as I say, it's not that hard to do. Certain aircraft like the P-80, that's the one of the first jets you get for the Americans, that will catch this no problems at all. The Meteor, the first Meteor, that again will catch one of these really easily. And the Russians, the Yak-15, I'm not so sure about that. It's a terrible aircraft, so I'm going to leave my comments on that one alone for the time being. But something like the MiG-9, will catch this no problem. As long as obviously you can avoid your fires. But the point that I'm trying to make really is that these aircraft don't have to be in game, at least in their current state. The Arado, with the fact that the prototype had cannon armament on it, or defensive armament, that can easily replace this or supersede this. But they've not done that, and it's been in game for almost 2 years now. But there's not really, I mean, you know, it's been in game for almost 2 years, and they've apparently just fixed the flight model for it. If that shows how long it's going to take to get the flight models fixed, I don't really hold much hope for any kind of like development with regards to other things as well, because it's a bad, well, not a bad example. It's more of a case of they are giving a really bad service for their product. I'm going to do what this guy's doing here and use the short airfield on this particular occasion. P-80 there. So I can't do that. So now I'm going to have to go back to the other airfield. At least my friend or fellow Arado has seen him and has taken base of action. Right, so let's see if I can get back to the other airfield without him catching me, which is probably going to happen because I did lose a lot of speed there. And this is a stock aircraft, so it's not going to accelerate very well. But yeah, I mean, if you look at that acceleration, that's about the same as the Horn, which is quite bad really, because the Horn, or at least my Horn that I use, is fully upgraded, and it's still a bag of wank when it comes down to acceleration. This aircraft, I believe, was around about the same as far as speed is concerned, but obviously was never used in any kind of combat situation. So it's difficult to say how effective the Horn would have actually been. so now I have to break down again. And the base is almost destroyed because the B-57s have just been wrecking it. We can't really do anything about that. And our interceptors or fighters have got their hands full with P-80s. So yeah, this is going to probably be a loss, I guess. My best hope actually is probably just to be a runner. Just run and hide somewhere. Because if I get down now into that airfield, the P-80 is going to catch and kill me. Or B-57, which of which I think there's at least 2, will probably bomb me on the airfield. Now, yeah, this is I am actually going to put it down. Looking at it, the P-80 I think is going away, so I might be able to get down and get another bomb load equipped. Whether or not I get to use that is a different matter, because the B-57s are about, and they're more likely going to finish this base off before I get a chance to use them. This is a bit of a steep angle, but the airfield is quite a long one, so I should be able to pull this off. Yeah, that's one P-80 taken down, I think. Yeah, that was the one that was on the Arado, so that's good, but yeah, it did actually get taken out. No, it was a different one. We did this, another 109 there. Watch out for the crater. Ah, you see. They are going to be adding apparently cratering effects to at least ground forces. Whether or not they do the same thing for air forces is a different matter. Again, it's down to Gaijin and develop. I suppose the advantage I do get with this aircraft is that it gets, say, air spawn on this map for some bizarre reason. Whether or not you should do is a different matter, because I don't know if it would actually be able to take off or not, because you don't get that chance to test it. Pretty sure off a short run rate it would struggle, but off something like that, I don't think it would do. The airfield's quite long. Yeah, I mean, you can just see, this is, like I say, this is a stock aircraft, but just look how fast that's accelerating. My nose is actually going down a little bit, I am losing altitude very slightly, so it's almost level flight, and the acceleration is terrible. There we go. Now it's accelerating really slowly and getting altitude really slowly. So, you know, as far as stock aircraft goes, this is really lame. Especially even more so in comparison to something like the B-57 in Canberra, which have round about the same battle rate, apparently. They're equal in Gaijin's eyes, that means. I.e. this is as good as a Canberra or B-57. My arse is what I can quite happily reply back with, as far as that goes. Because a B-57 in Canberra, they would be accelerating at this point very quickly. They would also have air brakes, which means that they can slow down very quickly, and their top speed is a lot faster. When I say a lot faster, it's probably, I mean, but in this amount of time it's taken me to get here from over there, from where I spawned rather, I've accelerated about 18 miles an hour. B-57 or Canberra would have accelerated up to 500 miles an hour from around about the same starting speed. So, yeah, I think you can see from that that things are slightly out of whack, i.e. balance is off, or something along those lines. It's not exactly rocket science to see that something is wrong. But apparently it's quite difficult for Gaijin to spot those kind of problems, because, or at least do anything about them. Because, yeah, they've got better things to do, apparently. Or, not to say better things to do, just other things to do that don't involve fixing the game that they've already released. going for the tanks. I was going to go for the base, but you know, let's have a look at these tanks. Think about it. Should take care of them. Just one. That's one ground kill for 3 bombs. There you go. Airfield is destroyed. We lose. That's the reason why I just did that, because I knew that they were going to take the base out in that time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Arado. I hope you've enjoyed this review. There are going to be quite a few of these coming up, because 1.45 has just come out, which apparently it's fixed a lot of things. This aircraft, as I say, is stock, so I can't really test it out in that respect, but I can test it out with regards to the gameplay. As you can see, lame. Okay, now I'm just going to check